Matthew Rinn, the president of Pleasant Hill Chamber of Commerce. It is our pleasure to host the 2012 Pleasant Hill Mayor's Breakfast, and John Hanecak will be up here in a little bit, so we'll hear that. And also we have an update from the Rec and Park District. So you guys have been driving around town. Lots of great things are happening. Seems like every day, see another wall, another roof, something else going on over there. So we'll get an update on that, and appreciate it. So the next first person we'll bring up, I was a little hesitant when I heard Rec and Park wanted a couple minutes, and I'm like, maybe we should order lunch too. But I think that they reassured me it's going to be just a quick overview, and we'll do it, go through it here real quick. But let me introduce Dennis Donahue, our chair of the board for the Rec and Park District this year.
Thank you, Matt, and I promise to keep my remarks short, and I will let the pictures do the talking. Katrina, would you like to? Okay, get it turned on. As you can well imagine, we're all very excited about what's going on these days, and if you just drive up and down Gregory, you can see the progress on a daily basis. Carrie Miller, our bond project coordinator, is out there every day, and she's been taking pictures so far. More than 10,000 of them. I don't plan to show all of them today because we would be here until the building's open. But we will look at a couple of them. Okay, the Teen Center broke ground on June 22nd. This is the groundbreaking and the demolition. And if you all remember, the building went down pretty quickly and turned into a blank spot on the ground. This is where it is now, as of Monday, I believe. The building is a building. It has interior walls, it has a roof, and they're getting ready for windows. And you can see how it looks compared to the architect's rendering. It's getting close, and actually it's a little more than 50% complete as of now. The Senior Center also broke ground in June. And you can see the demolition there went pretty fast. Also took a little longer because there was more of it. But there were a few tears when that one went down. And this is where it is today. Well, actually, this is where it was Monday. And it's probably a little farther along today. And this one will show how it compares to the architectural rendering, the south elevation, the main entrance. So it's coming right along and looking like a building. And it's about 46% construction complete. That's the old community center, bless her heart. And that's partway through the demolition. And now we have just parkland. And no, it's not going to be turned into athletic fields. And this is a rendering of the new community center, which we expect to break ground on this summer. And the plans right now are with the city, and that's a blueprint of the footprint of the ground. And this is the outside, and I think this leads us into our first video. We're going to give you a virtual walk around the building. This is approaching on Civic Drive, and we'll walk up to the front door and then around the side. This is a cool program that Darwin Group used for their presentations. That was the main entrance, and there's a second main entrance for the main room.
Yeah.
Is that the board members?
Yeah. No, that's the Hanecak limo. And this is a view from the gazebo. So you can see it's going to be a pretty spectacular building. It will be our showpiece. And the next one, we're going to walk inside. The area on the right, we walk into the entrance, is the Tots Center for preschool. And we're going to go in through the front doors, past the reception area, and down the hall on the right will be the multi-use rooms. And on the left as we go in, with the glass wall, is the McHale room. this will be a pretty neat reception area. That counter is going to be backlit. Mikhail room on the left. And down the right are the multi-use rooms. And down the left will be the entrance to the main rooms, which used to be the Parkside room and the dance room. And when we go in, note how the architecture brings the outside in. We take advantage of the parkland setting. I think you can tell from this it's going to be a very exciting building.
How many people is that group gonna hold?
I think it's around 300 or more. It's a good sized room. And there we are looking back out at the gazebo. I think you can tell from that it's going to be a fantastic facility. If you want to keep up to date with the progress, you can go on our website, pleasanthillrec.com, click on bond projects and construction updates, and you'll see photos from all of the construction. And they're posted weekly. So the current one is for February 6th. Next week they'll have February 13th, and they'll have the update photos for where construction stands as of that Monday. So you can follow it right along with us. I said I would keep it short. That's all I have. I think you can tell from this that the excitement is genuine. It's going to be a great fun when these buildings open. We expect opening in October for the senior center and the teen center, and I said we expect to break ground this summer with the community center, and then that would be opening in hopefully summer of 2013. And the latest thing we just talked about last night, we approved going forward on Pleasant Oaks Park, and that'll be breaking ground in 2013 and opening, 2013, opening 2014 or 2013. It's supposed to be 5 or 6 months of construction. So we're looking forward to that as well. So hopefully you all keep your eye on the project as you drive by and wait with anxious like we are. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dennis. I think that was a record, so good job. I appreciate it. Be holding true to your word. It's great. Just wanted to thank our host today at Back 40. I really appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Really do a stellar job fetching you first thing in the morning, and I haven't had biscuits and gravy in a long time, so I appreciate that. And then also our sponsors today, without their help, they help make this morning possible. Allied Waste, thank you very much. And PG&E and Tom Green, thank you very much for your sponsorship this morning. So I was looking through the city website for, bio on John, so just get a little update on him. And, I see you're a 48-year resident of City of Pleasant Hill, so I don't know if they started the clock before you were born or what, but I'm buttering him up for the kill. So. But John is, you guys all know John. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but he's very involved in the community, very passionate about education, through his job at DVC and other things he does through the community. Starting a Rotaract Club at DVC. Just very involved individual. His heart's in the right spot, does a lot of great things for the city, and it's just really exciting that, he's at the mayorship again this year and for a second term. And it was nice, a little side note, I saw him handing out his business cards, and he's like, hey, I still have some from the last time I was the mayor. He's like, I'm recycling here. I'm like, hey, John, go green. Good job, buddy. Way to be green. So, without further ado, let me bring up John Hanecak, Mayor of Pleasant Hill. Thank you.
4 years ago, I had the pleasure. Look at that. There we go. That's going to be later. I had the pleasure of giving this speech Across the street, we were at another facility, I won't mention, but I came up, was introduced, I came up and I turned on my computer and I pressed the button, and Tim Argenti will remember this well, Susan I think as well, and all that showed up was Dell. A big blue screen with the words Dell. And some people tried to work on it, and for 45 minutes, my notes and all of the video and screens, it just said Dell. I remember Tim on the way out said to me, you know, next time you could at least put up Allied Waste as a sponsor, because we were here all day, instead of Dell Computers who didn't even know you were speaking today. So I wanted to reiterate what Matt had said. Both Tom as well as Susan here, representatives of our sponsors, thank you very much. You do endless things throughout the community, and we appreciate both. And we had an update from PG&E Monday night on some of the new things going on with the gas lines, and we look forward to that. Information's available on the website. And with Allied Waste, I know we have a lot of changes that have happened the last 4 years with recycling, and we're going to get to some of those as well. So I wanted to make sure that if I was going to stand here, I want to give both sponsors a little moment, and because they're both equally available here, I want to make sure PG&E was on top as well. Because they're both sponsoring the same amounts, and I wanted to make sure that neither one of them felt slighted. So anyway.
Just leave that up there for 45 minutes.
45 minutes? Okay, here we go. But after the video, and I self-destruct in 45 minutes.
Just like that.
Well said. I wanted to also thank Dennis. 4 years ago, we tried this out because people used to say the mayor's breakfast, and I said, well, Pleasant Hill, we have rec and park separate from the city, unlike most cities, and so we don't know really what goes on. The mayor doesn't have the insights that the board director, the chair of the board, has from rec and park. And so Dennis, there you are. Dennis, I want to say great job. Now they're bringing video. You know, they're really trying to up the city. You did it today. I just wanted to thank you very much. We're not building anything, but they are. And I thought it was more important to have them here because of all the construction and new things they're bringing into our community. It's very important, so thank you again. So Pleasant Hill, I had this slide prepared. I thank Martin, first of all, for helping with a number of the data, as well as June and Mary and Frida and like the endless staff that assisted in gathering the information. I'd also like to welcome our city representatives, our council members who are here, who have really, as I give this speech, it's a speech about the city, but I know my fellow council members have been, I think they would all agree, we probably worked harder this last year under the direction of our mayor, David Durant, and the 50th year celebration, those combined, it was really a challenging year. And I wanted to first introduce our vice mayor, Michael Harris. Michael Harris, please stand. And we also have a council member right next to him, David Durant, past mayor. And I know we have Jack Weir. Jack Weir, council member, our newest council member. And I just want to check if Terry, we're thinking about you, Terry. I know that she couldn't be here this morning, but I wanted to just thank her as well. And I think Jack, we kind of laugh a little bit about this because it is Jack's starting his second year now, and to have last year be your first year, you kind of think that's the way being a council member is. And we assured him it wasn't. It's just one of those things that'll be ongoing, and we're going to be a little bit easier. As you see here, I kind of reworked this slide because I think the way it was done before, that had this big thing up there, but it's the city of Pleasant Hill. I thought should be the biggest. That's really what we're here to celebrate, of which all of us are a part. 2012 breakfast I thought was important. The thing in between, not so much. Yeah, this thing is the name of the person who cares. That changes every year anyway. So, but the date hosted by, again, another big name here is the Pleasant Hill Chamber of Commerce, who is really one of the engines in our city in really bringing through economic development and watching things happen that we all enjoy. So the services, and I just realized this is being videotaped, so I'm sorry, Larry, I'm going to be running around. Try to make it easy. First thing I'd like to start with is our duck pond. Some of you noticed somebody planted turtles and koi. The ducks are new this year. We don't know where they came from. They flew in. They seemed to like it and figured, hey, this is good real estate. Look at all the other people. You know, we'd like to check it out. And so, but what I'm going to talk about is they're getting along. You know, and I saw that before our goal-setting meeting the other day, last Friday, in fact, a week ago, and I saw that and I go, you know, reptiles and mammals can do it. Why can't political parties? And so I asked Martin to get a picture. At that time, there were two ducks laying down, and one of the other turtles was sitting on top of another one with its legs spread out, enjoying the sun. And I thought, you know, what a great metaphor for what can be done for what can be done and what we need to do nationally as well as statewide to really help government have a positive impact on our lives. You know, in order to work together to really resolve issues we have, and we certainly have those issues. So I'll come back to this a little bit later. I tried to think of other things, and I'll show you the trouble I had, but we'll go there. Retail and office projects. So I thought I'd start with a little history, a little overview, and then move into what we're looking at in the present and this upcoming year. So we'll try to work with that. First, retail and office projects assisted by the Redevelopment Agency. As many of you know, we are now 9 days into the absence of redevelopment in California. So we have started a new phase in life, and as a result, we kind of wanted to reflect what was it all about. Bob Stewart had a great presentation he gave to the council 3 weeks ago, which is available on our website, to really give you some insights. The year the law was passed, which was the early 70s, the following year, Pleasant Hill said, we're going to buy into this and we're going to get started. And a whole number of things were done. But I want to give you an overview of some numbers, but here's some of the individual. The Pleasant Hill Plaza Shopping Center, the Woodsworth Park Townhouses and Two Worlds mixed-use development, the Gregory Center Office Complex, Courtyard Retail Center and Marriott Hotel, Pleasant Vista Condominiums and Chateau 3 Care Facility. And some of you may remember what used to be there at some of these locations prior to. You look at the Courtyard and Marriott. Some of you might remember the old Bank of California, right, the Payless. You know, what used to be on those facilities now where Rite Aid and some of the other locations are. Oh, Rick's Lounge, that's right. Is that Kara Mitchoff? I didn't know Kara. Our supervisor, Kara Mitchoff. We can have a round of applause for our supervisor. We also have a representative from Senator Mark DeSaulnier's office. Where, oh please have a stand. Thank you very much for coming today. Susan Bonilla? Case, okay, that's okay. I got an email to Mark. Got to follow up with him. Okay, so here we go. Gregory Square offices. Let me read these for you in case you can't see them. Terraces Office Building, Cleveland Green, Pleasant Hill Village Senior Center. In a nutshell, from a business perspective, here's what we did. As a city, we invested $60 million, roughly, in tax increment, in redevelopment tax increment, roughly $60 million. The current value of all of those investments is a little over $640 million. So the investment we made through redevelopment resulted in property tax revenues significantly higher for this city. And when they talk about tax increment, that's what it's all about. You improve properties so that the tax generated from those properties increase and then come back into the community so you can do more things with them. So we want to say thank you for Bob Stewart. He's now going to be our leader here as we move into a transition phase. And I know many of you in this audience, Joe Ovick is here from the Office of Education. I know Joe, as well as Karen Mitchoff and the Community College District, as well as the city and the County Board of Supervisors. We're all going to be involved in this new transition of what to do with these monies. And so that's going to be the new discussions that we'll be part of, and we're looking forward to those. Last year, 50 years. Right? Some of you remember it, the 50 years. I always joke that 50 years is what I think it's a requirement to participate in the senior center. And I always a little bit of a joke that a couple of the council members are turning 50 this year as well. We're a little younger than the city, and we're looking forward to being able to participate in that senior center, which will be built right after our birthdays.
David and I are turning 50.
That's right. Michael and David are the ones turning 50. So I just wanted to make sure. I'm about 94. I get 95 next year. I'm feeling good. City Hall open house. Some of you were there, enjoyed that day. The gala dinner, for those that were able to go there, paparazzi everywhere, right? Lisa White, our paparazzi for today is much kinder than the ones who were there. Very intrusive questions. You know, here, fortunately, we don't have people at our windows and everything else taking pictures on our vacations when we're wearing our bikinis or whatever we're wearing. Lisa is much kinder. With that, the art, wine, and photography contest, as far as what we have, and we were able to get some great letters and just thoughts from the youth. Thoughts from the youth on what they felt and thought, as well as incredible photography from the many photographers in our city, young and old, as well as our artists, and we have many in this city. And finally, the library ran a whole series of special events on our 50th. Rogers Ranch had a wonderful historical series as well, and special events throughout the city. The 4th of July parade had a special theme, and a lot of the different events had special themes, a lot of the fundraisers as well throughout the year. What were some of the accomplishments, even with the limited funds that were available? City Hall lake improvements. We'll start simple. We had plumbing, replaced all the plumbing in the lake, and had a biofiltration system. The turtles are getting bigger. They're getting big. And I'm not sure if that's because of the improvements. There's certainly more of them now. It appears as if they're appreciating the improvements, generating a bit of a boom on that. So Lisa Lane, sidewalk improvements. Residents in that area have talked about this for years. Small kids, K through 5, have to walk down that street every day. There was a number of issues with that, and finally we were able to make the improvements to help those children walk to school safer. New traffic lights at Oak Park Boulevard and Patterson out there in the Poets Corner area. And that's also working to help eliminate traffic, and we made some adjustments just this past week based on feedback from the community. We've upgraded 26 side crosswalks citywide, a little higher visibility. As you know, we're trying to encourage pedestrian safety. If anyone grew up here 40 years ago, we used to all ride our bikes to school and walk to school. Riding your bike right now is a bit dangerous, a little more so than way back then because there's so many more cars. And so there really the roads were never formed or really developed for a lot of bike traffic, a lot of parking on the side of the road and other things like that. So we're having to go back to an infrastructure built for cars and slowly, incrementally make changes to really encourage more bike and pedestrian transportation. Street resurfacing project. The engineering department and public works are working miracles with how they spend our dollars and the grants they're receiving to help us with this. It's one of the biggest problems almost all cities have is maintaining the assets. We're fortunate to have been able to not only keep the rating of our streets at a level where it was 4 years ago, but we were able to improve it. And so the roads, in particular our collectors and our arterials, fancy words for our main streets, that really get us through town and get us to home and get us out of the town. All of those streets are among the highest rated of most cities, and they really support our commercial districts as well as all the residents going in and out of their housing. So I want to thank the engineering department. They've done a lot of work. Ordinance amendments that help assist business. There was a request by the chamber to help us with allowing temporary signs. You know, we've got to let people know we're here, and we were able to make some flexibility there in allowing those. Outdoor seating, you know, it encourages, communities want to see each other. You dine, even if you're not eating outside because it's too cold, it's nice to see that the community is present, other people are there. New sign design guidelines, hopefully to assist and to hopefully be consistent and to allow people to know what to do up front so signs get approved. Economic Development Committee was formed last year, and it's been focusing on business. Currently, the members of that are David Durant and Jack Weir. They both came through with a lot of ideas last year. We funded the initial part. They'll be coming back for some additional requests, and I'll get to that at the end of this presentation on some of the exciting programs. The city is going to be not just proactive, we're going to be engaged with our local businesses to help what we all know is coming back as the economy comes back and giving people an advantage here in Pleasant Hill. We're hoping to work closely with our businesses. One of the goals, going green, sustainability. One of the most moving letters I got 4 years ago as a mayor was a little letter from then a sixth grader, who was one of our local schools asking me to do something to help sustain the earth. And I've kept that letter, and it's a reminder to me. And it's not just me, all the council members have seen this request in the community itself. So where are we going here? First, the green zone. Pleasant Hill invented a green zone in the library and also funded that green zone as a way to help bring this message to more and more people. I want to thank Karen Mitchoff, the Board of Supervisors, awarded the city an award on behalf of the county for starting this idea. And the great thing is it's being replicated throughout the county, of people actually investing in getting this knowledge across and this information. Electric vehicle charging stations. The city now has 3. One is in our public works yard for when we have city vehicles with electricity that need to be plugged in. The other one's at City Hall, and the other one finally is across from the theater in the parking garage. Good news. The use of those charging stations is increasing over time. To charge, you simply insert a debit card, a credit card, you plug in, go see a movie, you come out, your car's charged up. So we're looking at this expanding. They're talking about BART stations where people leave their cars all day. They're also talking about other locations where people park. So that's an opportunity for people to actually charge up that are using electric vehicles, and we're looking forward to working and continuing expanding the number of stations throughout the city. And this is going on nationwide. More beverage container recycling bins. Kids will say, where are the recycling bins? So more of those have been spread throughout the cities, the parks, and various other areas, so other agencies as well. Best practices. Our staff goes to the meetings and talk about things that we can do as a city to make a difference, and we incorporate those through city policies and practices. We're going to be establishing the carbon footprint of the city to know what is our impact on the community. That gives us ideas of measuring how we're doing on changing that impact. And finally, a climate action plan. It's going to be coming for all organizations, are going to be most cities, counties, are putting one of these together to show how they're going to be meeting legislation coming down the road, and the deadlines of 2020 being a big one. So what happened last year? Some new businesses moved in. Togo's. I'm going to mention something about each of these. I'll get to it in a moment. European Wax Center, Bye Bye Baby, Ross Dress for Less, Big Five Sporting Goods, Diablo CrossFit Studio, Carrington College Expansion, Safeway Store and Fuel Station, Golfsmith, In-N-Out Burger. And by the way, DVC is building a new building as well. But in regards to that, it's not through the city though, that's a state project. But when it comes to all of these, you're seeing a lot of companies are deciding to move to Pleasant Hill. And this was during a difficult year, a difficult economic year. We've got some new things coming, and it's very exciting. Briefly, Togo's. I just want to make sure the ribbon cutting was great. College Park cheerleaders, if you ever want to make a commotion in front of your business, they were incredible. And in addition to that, Togo's will toast your bread. I did not know this until that day, because Quiznos had left. I go, God, I love the toasted bread. That was so, okay, we'll toast it for you. And I said, I didn't know that. I didn't know Togo's would toast bread. So just something for visiting, anyone visiting. European Wax Center. I'd show you, but I can't. All right. Bye Bye Baby. I don't want you all had breakfast, right? Bye Bye Baby is the wonderful time. I know my wife and I are at another stage in life, but since I had this up there, I thought I'd take advantage of it. Here are my babies. Bye bye to babies, right? Now they're growing up, and of course, my one. I'm trying to think of how to incorporate that. There we go. Hello, baby. Our next one is Safeway. As you know, the ribbon cutting is coming up on a week from today. And Friday, the 17th, they're open for business. Somebody said, why are you so excited about, a grocery store opening up? I go, I don't know, I just am. It's right down the street. I'm excited about all the new things. It's a very large Safeway, very expansive, and I'm also at the ribbon cutting. The Safeway will be generous also in some donations as well, so we appreciate that. Look forward to that next week. In-N-Out Burger. I mentioned this at DVC in my classes, and all I hear is, when? Been waiting for a year. And so it's good news now that they're opening up in the summer, and they've gone vertical recently in the past few weeks, if any of you can see behind that green fence. Very secretive, top secret, but it's coming, and the double-doubles and whatever triple-triples, whatever, I've only been there once, but I appear to be going there again, just for research. Golfsmith. Golfsmith will be opening late March, early April, so that's coming up. You're seeing the designs, the changes coming. For those, I don't know if they'll have an indoor golf course, I don't know. We'll see what they end up doing, but golf and tennis will be their primary function. And some of you know there's one in Walnut Creek. I don't know what's going on there, but it's nice that companies that saw Walnut Creek as attractive have also seen Pleasant Hill now as a place to go, because when they see that, those decisions being made, it impacts everyone else's decision. There's some others I can't tell you about right now, but we have some good news coming, so keep an eye out. Big Five was another one that opened. If you haven't had a chance, great store, smaller scale, all the supplies, and I wanted to end with this because talking about the Big Five leads me to the last 5 years. I wanted to kind of give an overview. We're all business people. We saw what's happened as far as what's new. The question is, what's been going on financially in the city? And so here we go. Let's talk a little business as far as city. As a business, the city has had a decrease in our revenue. Many businesses have experienced this through this great recession. You can see that the 2008-9, when capital kind of got impacted, right in here, there was a significant drop immediately in sales tax revenue. People started spending less, and we all know this. You can kind of see the trend over time was a decrease over the last 5 years, or actually we hit a high there in 7-8, and then we had a decrease since that recession. The good news is we're flattening out and a slight uptick. We'll be looking for some updated numbers soon in the fourth quarter of last year. But when I tried to go shopping, all I knew was almost every parking lot was full. It seemed to be a good end of the year. Most reports we're hearing throughout the country was a nice uptick. It seems like either flattening out or coming back. We'll keep our fingers crossed. Property tax revenue. In the city of Pleasant Hill, you'll see, again, the fall in property tax revenues. The second main source of revenue here for the city. The nice thing is it's leveling out. And we hear from those in the real estate area that we're seeing some more activity, that interest rates right now, mortgage rates are at a terrific 3 point whatever percent. Maybe jumbos are up at just above 4. If you haven't refinanced, please do. Get some more money in your pocket on a monthly basis. It's a great time. My father, who bought a home here in 1963, used to brag about his 6% mortgage back then. He couldn't believe it when it's now down in the 4s. It's something that Pleasant Hill's never experienced in its history. Hopefully our residents take advantage of it. Business license fees and permits. Again, same thing. You'll see that trend when you saw that drop off from 2008-9. And what you see now is a slight uptick. And as we have more businesses come in and less vacancies, less vacant space, you'll see that growth continue. Something that we don't talk a lot about or get really clear enough is the amount of grants this city receives. We have a budget of roughly plus or minus $18 to $19 million a year. And in the last 5 years, we've been able to secure roughly $10 million in grant funding. These are predominantly for roads. So you'll see some roads, Lisa Lane improvements. What's nice about those are these are residential streets. These are very difficult grants. There are very few of them. This one was located next to a school, which really helped us out. But most of them are the main arterials and collectors. It's another revenue source. And what's happened is our staff has really been able to generate so many of these grants. We really depend on it continuing. And staff is very aware of that because we just simply don't have the revenues as much right now, and as we continue to bounce back, to maintain some of the infrastructure, and these grants have really helped us offset that. So let's look at the revenue side. In total, this is what it looks like when you combine all 3 of our major sources and a few other minor sources. Expenditures. What has the city been doing? The city's been cutting, like many other people, tightening the belt. And you'll see that in 7-8, our highest expenditure year was about a little over 20.5 million. The past year, we were down in the 18.5 million. So roughly, if you do the math, about $2 million less. Now, some of these expenditures are related to capital improvement projects and other items like that. But you can see the trend line here of the city adjusting to the economic reality. If revenues are down, our costs must go down as well. The question is, how do you eliminate $2 million, over 10% from a city budget, and not have the community say, what happened to my services? And so a lot of you in this room, members of this community, the question is, have you felt the impact? Have services still been able to be provided? Here's a comparison, revenues to expenditure. Last year I was mayor, we had revenues ahead of expenditures. That was not because of me. That was because of all 5 council members and the city staff really making some incredible decisions as they've continued. But we always cut expenses before the revenues came short. We knew revenues were going down. And the cuts came, and we used our general fund monies to offset the potentially incredibly negative impact it would have been if we had done quick cuts very quickly and across the board. We would have had some service cuts, certainly, and we would have had some other negative impacts in the community. So we had a reserve for a rainy day, and it was pouring. One other thing we did, I wanted to look at one group, management. We just approved the 3-year contract with them, Monday night's meeting. But a lot of people say, why don't we cut at the higher levels? And that's exactly what the city did, but I don't think people realize how much we cut. We had 5 directors 6 years ago, 5 directors, Director of Finance, Director of Public Works, Director of Community Development, Director of HR, and the Chief of Police are 5 directors. We now have 1, and you see him in the room today, Chief of Police, over there, probably on his computer there. But, checking out the Sharks and if they made a trade. No. Okay, anyway, but our chief as well. He's our only director left. So what do we say by having those other 4 directors? Director of Public Works, for 1 year and 2 months, we've not had a director. We saved $262,000. Director of Finance, 5 years. We've saved 2,000 short of $1 million over those 5 years. Does that mean we still have to do finance work? We absolutely do. Who's doing what the director used to do? Our city manager and finance staff. That's exactly what happened. Director of HR for 4 years and 2 months. We haven't had one. Savings, $679,000. Combining the Director of Public Works with the Director of Community Development over the last 5 years has saved us $945,000 that we used to spend 6 years ago. Total cost reduction from frozen and combined management positions, just over the last 5 years, $2.884 million was saved. That's where a lot of the savings, and this is only one of the groups. There's a number of employee groups across the board in this city who are doing without, who are doing more with less, that classic phrase. I just wanted to show this group because it's one that came up on Monday night and I wanted to help clarify. If we maintain these frozen positions, our annual savings is $776,000. And we don't want to keep these positions open forever. Some of these positions need to come back, but it's a matter of being able to survive this difficult time with what we have. And so everyone's been stepping up, and I just wanted to thank those, not only in the management, but across the city who are doing so. All right, let's get out of finance for a moment, go back to some community events. Farmers Market. Farmers Market's one of those events. It's coming back. It's easy to remember. Now it is, for me at least, it's easy. It's Memorial Day until Labor Day. No, that's the, forget it. Anyway, starts in May. Look for it in May. Fresh, local, organic produce. Stay green. Eat red, green, and purple. All right, here we go. Summer concerts at City Hall. That's the one. This is the one that starts, again, on Memorial Day weekend, ends on Labor Day. Civic Action Committee and incredible sponsors allow us to present these concerts at the lake. Great times. 4th of July celebration. I know Jim Bonato's here, who's been chairing that, really bringing it to life. There's a few lions in this picture. That's okay. I know I have some Rotarians and Lions in the club, so welcome. Community Service Day, something that started in the city. We had direction again, Michael Harris, as well as our Civic Action Commission and city staff, really working hard to bring this together, and over roughly 1,000 residents helping us out. Art, Jazz, and Wine Festival, one of the bigger events recently. I know Faye Donahue was director of that committee, and others have worked real hard through the chamber, through other activities to make that work. Light Up the Night. 4 years ago, we didn't have a tree. 4 years ago, they said, hey, John, we got this new thing. We're going to do Light Up the Night. I go, great, we'll go out there. We went out there. Then we realized all the lights were already on because they were on photovoltaic cells. So when the sun went down, they went on. It was scheduled for an hour after sunset. So here's a group. First year, about 200 people were there. They're all sitting there, and I go, okay, everybody, we're going to have the lighting of the night, right? Light up the night, even though all the lights were on. So I go, please close your eyes for 5 seconds, and I'll count down. And we closed our eyes, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, open your eyes. And the next year we had a tree. So the staff was great. They found the funding. It really worked out well. Now, economic development. How is the city going to help with local businesses? We conducted a business survey of all the companies in December, January. That survey, those surveys results will be coming forward and help us with our decision making. Most of that through the Economic Development Committee. The Planning Made Easy idea. There's a click on our website to help with easy planning, to streamline processes if someone wants to come in to help with parking, business signage, and other zoning issues people might be having. A business resource guide for new businesses. That will be published later this month and available for businesses. Cross-marketing and promotion with downtown Pleasant Hill and activities that we can do to help support that. Monday house calls. This is new. Kelly, are you in the house? Kelly, if you can just see, Kelly and I are going to be taking some Mondays, a large number, 2 to 3 Mondays a month from now until January, from 9 to 2, to simply come visit your business. Get to know about it, give you any input, to connect you with Kelly as far as resources, and anything I know as far as opportunities or other things, having been in sales. If I can think of anything, a way of expanding your business, we're both going to be there to help you share and have the city work with your business locally. It can be an in-home, it can be a large business. It doesn't matter. Please let Kelly know and schedule an appointment. We'll come by and visit you. We do make house calls. Finally, Retail Marketing Incentive Program is going to be starting in 3 to 4 months. What does this mean? Let's have a little pulse. And it means, first, we're going to assist local retail businesses in new marketing and advertising campaigns. We're going to help with those campaigns. We're going to help to drive businesses to clients to your business. City will provide matching funds to individual businesses or groups of businesses to help them with their marketing. Matching funds, putting dollars to work to assist. Initial consultations for businesses conducted by marketing consultants and paid for by the city to actually assist if you don't have ideas on marketing or wondering if there's anything else I could be doing. And finally, a program launch again is scheduled for late March. Same thing, Kelly Calhoun, this is her number, you can write it down. 671-5229, schedule a house call.
That's Mark's number.
It's okay, Martin made the slide, so. Call Kelly through Martin. And by the way, if all of you could call today, at about 10:30, all at once. Keep them busy. All right, here we go. All right, back to the ducks. So I was trying to think about how to take ducks and turtles and try to combine with some incredible, combination where we can really take advantage of the metaphor. Turtle plus duck. And I went turruck. Not much there. Dirt. Dirtle. So I couldn't do anything with it. Anyway, I couldn't go much further. I was just happy that those turtles weren't frogs. All right, here we go. So what I'd like to do is simply help. I know, and I wanted to end on that note because it clearly went about a minute too long on the slide. But working together in 2012, we talked about back to those ducks and those turtles. Working together is something we want to do, and the city wants to engage our local business community even more than it has in the past. So we really would like to try to see what we can do. We'll see what works. We'll see what doesn't work. We'll be able to learn this process together, but the main goal is to help drive business to all of your locations and to all of your services. So if there's anything we can do, we've got time set aside to help, including going out and assisting with your marketing. So with that said, I'd like to thank you all for coming today. Look forward to 2012 and the uprise that we're all seeing. Thank you again.
Good work, John. Thank you so much. Just want to, as we wrap it up here, want to thank again our generous sponsors, Allied Waste and PG&E here today for all you guys do for the community. Quick update, a lot of people asked me too about the chamber, and we're doing a lot of great things. We had 7 brand new members for the month of January, which is the most we've had in a long time. So a lot of businesses are getting out there and getting engaged, and we're very excited about the city and their renewed efforts to really engage the business community. And I live here and work here in Pleasant Hill, so I love everything they're doing. But if we can just spread the word to more people and attract more businesses and retain the ones we have, it's really going to help us get through this economic cycle. And I think we're really going to come out ahead. I think we're ahead of the curve by trying to do a lot of these things to really get the marketing going for these businesses, get them out there, so as people feel more confident in the economy and start spending more and more money, they'll already be in a great position to do that. So get out there, shop Pleasant Hill. Tax dollars definitely help drive everything that we're trying to accomplish here. And I just want to thank you guys all for your time this morning, and I appreciate it. We'll see you guys all out there. Take care. Good job, Mr. Mayor.